But yeah, that little mobile TV stand I showed off in that IRL stream, I want to have one of those type of laptop armature things that holds the laptop, but you can just take it and just move it all over the place. One of those things you see at like a doctor's office, then have the TV on a swivel. Go to move it all around too. That would be amazing.
Artificial purple coloring and has a little added kick to get you going in
Okay. Process rift data. Yeah, I wish I could. I don't think I can get through that door though. If I'm not mistaken, it is still locked. There is a keycard access point. Means I don't know, cause there ain't no blippity blip blip to follow around to tell me where to go. It's all over there.
The only tequila that'll pick you up and never let you down. Try Purple Berry Tequila today.
Huh? Worthy of Protect Arcadia!
Fuck your face.
Alert.
Scoot scoot, motherfucker. Yeah, I have definitely not been in there.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Yeah, I turned the gaming music down just a teeny little bit too. Because it was all nice. This is a good idea. Oh, dude, if you want a fudgesicle, you know where to get them.
Treating around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Next up,
Mikey, I think she's got it.
Free Arcadia exists. Advertising. Our Iffy Jiffy mail order division informs it is now offering the
okay.
Pharmacon 5 walk-in and
Welcome in.
Originally developed for secretive research laboratories for purposes we may only guess at, the Pen Pharmacon 5 is now available to you, the unremarkable everyday consumer.
Yeah.
Step inside and let electromagnetic waves bathe over you, exciting your molecules and curing such ailments as dropsy, sciatica, narcolepsy, rickets, night sweats, and collectivism.
What kind of rounds does it take, though?
Permanent damage to eyes, teeth, skin, or general lifespan. Ask your doctor if a walk-in industrial macro wave is right
Short
for
round.
you.
Heavy round. Short round. Ah, that's a really good idea.
Now for
We need, I don't know, a shoddy?
If not thematically.
This? Shock rod? Oh wait, we're using shock rods over here. Okay, 31. 8. Let's end it or I guess. So need short and heavy. Hey? Yes. Okay.
Yes, Auntie welcomes you with arms open wide, and all you gotta do is sign the dotted line.
So I can't make any heavy rounds. Okay. And I can't make any short rounds. Okay. Can I make black powder though? Guess that's the big thing here, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. Doesn't look like I can make it. It kind of makes me wonder. Do you get black powder from vendors? Or from breaking stuff down? Hold on, let's see. Triple barrel. Whoa, I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's gonna be it. The Can you break these down though? Can't remember. Maybe not the bench. Was Oh, I was right next to it still. I'll break it down. Yeah, that's even better thing to break down. Yes, that's where we get the black powder. Okay.
Let's change it up now. Now he's a winsome man with a charming smile. Celandine toothpaste with impeccable style. The perfect poster boy. Oh, can't you see? Yes, he's a tribute to Auntie
See?
Emily.
I muted it because I kicked the keyboard. Stop it! No! No, you're not getting the ice cream! Stop the begging! Actually, he's gonna turn and go. That revolver is heavy. There we go. Get rid of this. Yeah. A bitch ass revolver. What do you mean? I don't care. Oh, 2 black. Yeah, well, the one I got, it's like a shotgun revolver. It's weird. But I don't know what's left, so I won't judge it too harshly. Crescenite? Do I want to get rid of that? I think I want to get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of that.
We love you, Auntie.
Gotta roll the dice sometimes.
It's just the best choice. It's Auntie's choice.
Amplified across the rings of Elysium, from the boardroom to the bottom rung, this is Wireless Free Arcadia, official frequency of Auntie's Choice.
We need
Stand
short
by
rounds
for
and
this
heavy rounds.
special report, prepared in partnership with the Office of Competitive Analysis and Artful Reconnoitering on the Protectorate's recent management shakeup. Who in the world is
Okay.
Emery Thoreau, a.k.a. the Consul? The button-down, well-groomed, rough customer who so deftly heave-hoed
Okay.
his sovereign to become top canid of the Protectorate? A competent,
How we doing,
confidence
boss?
man, he plays a long game as aide-de-camp to 2 generations of sovereigns, exploiting their trust to lay the foundation for his ruthless self-promotion. Thoreau's master stroke was
What?
to co-opt the Sentinels,
Wow.
ostensibly
We'll do that
formed
later.
to encourage
Get rid of the
patriotic zeal,
restream,
but now the
restreamy,
consul's boot heel.
rebot
Classic
relay thingy.
totalitarian sleight of iron hand. Don't take our analysis for it. Hear the
How do I
consul's
get up
motives
there?
replayed in high fidelity in this recent Protectorate broadcast.
It what?
I believe my decision-making is
Does that go
superior to
nowhere?
Caesar's.
Nuh-uh, did I just find a design flaw in the game?
Unfit to serve as the caretaker of worlds.
Why should we care who's minding the Protectorate store? The consul is a brutal adversary of unfettered self-betterment.
No, I
His
didn't.
sovereign was a bleeding
I just
heart
didn't
by
go around the
comparison.
right way.
Our takeover as a matter of principle as well as profit. We
Uh,
are liberating these subjugated saps from more than just their excessively flavorless food or suppressed initiative.
gimme?
Their consul is
Yeah.
a cruel villain, a tyrant. If you need more proof that we're the
Yeah.
protagonists of this tale, I leave
Gimme
you with
this.
this. The consul plans for his own addled citizenry.
Wow, it won't give
I will
me.
only be torturing the sovereign subjects.
Okay, back to business.
Bitch.
I don't know about you,
Wait.
but I could use something a little more upbeat right about now. Like this.
Prototype Xenium armor.
It's Auntie's choice.
Uranium. Okay. Moving the prototype without authorization will result in a security lockdown. We'll come back to that. There's gotta be another way to unlock that suit. I mean, I would assume so. Oh, I do need a little bit of health. Might as well.
Benefits of spending your bits. She's
Oh,
just the best choice. It's Auntie's. It's Auntie's choice.
spare key. For what? Listen here. What's this one? Hexing his damn keys. Only flipping through because it's either gonna unlock part of the mission or it won't.
Try and try, never settle for less.
Words for
Choose what
days,
makes sense,
brother.
sacrifice happiness. Work extra shifts, you can sleep later. We've got the goods to make you better than nature. Auntie is the
Luckily, there's
best
such things as
choice.
pauses and VODs.
Bringing
And
back
all
and
those
keep
things.
us content. Auntie is the best choice. No
Like
podcast
everything.
you can do means
I
cheaper
think it
prices
did.
for you. Auntie is the best choice.
Okay.
Feel the benefits of spending your bits. She's just the best choice. It's Auntie's. It's Auntie's choice.
Is this just the same place, just the other side? Hold on a second. What? Tell me. Okay.
Auntie is the best choice. Bringing betterment to keep us content. Auntie is the best choice. The podcasting to do means cheaper
Alert. An upgrade module compatible with your Valerie unit is nearby.
benefits of spending your
Give me.
She's just the best choice.
Ooh. It's for Valerie.
Agent Abara has been released from service. Updating Team Index. How may this unit assist you, Commander?
Hmm. Is it in my menus? Might be. Is. After being healed by Valerie's companion ability, you are immune to all damage for the duration rather than gaining a bonus to damage reduction. Hmm. While you are at full health, Valerie's companion ability recharges significantly faster. No.
She's just the best choice.
Do this one.
It's Auntie's. It's Auntie's.
Press and hold or what? Oh, okay, we go. Ooh, I found hers too? At some point in
Honest to
time, I
goodness broadcasting for street
remember.
shooters across Arcadia.
Marisol?
This is wireless free
Dang.
Arcadia.
Upgrades your N-ray scanner, allowing it to automatically analyze enemies. While wearing the N-ray scanner, your attacks apply effects to targets depending on the location
The
of the
order of the
body
ascendant's
hit.
claims have been proven correct.
Ooh,
They were, in fact, not
like double
responsible.
down on some
Outside
bonuses here.
agitators were apparently attempting to frame the order in hopes of
Marisol upgrades your
rekindling
gas energy
hostilities between
deflection
us.
apparatus
But
while
we
she's in
were
the
much
party,
too
causing
cautious
damage
and
against the
level-headed
shield.
this time.
Reflect a portion
Other
of the
outside
damage taken
parties,
back to the
presumably less
attacker.
agitating, reportedly outed these malefactors
So
and
it's
brought
just
these matters
reflecting
to an
damage.
appropriate close. Hope
Sure.
no employees listening shot anyone from the order while this was being resolved, which you'll recall we
Now for me.
explicitly forbade earlier.
Ooh, I have 2
If you
points.
did, and any order representatives are listening, we can offer our standard regrets and apologies bouquet assortment delivered to the homes of any surviving loved ones. Alternately, we could just leave a dozen or so outside one of our local field offices for you to collect and distribute yourselves. In fact, we'd actually prefer that. Assuming by your silence, that's okay. Lovely, let's do that. Ta!
Yeah, have to go with
Now,
that.
on to other things. This is one of my favorites, though
I
admittedly
want to
I'm
know, it's
far
like
from
playthrough
discerning.
plus, you start getting really high numbers in those, or is it really just early leveling for that? Because I can't imagine I'm not too far from the end of the game right now. And maybe it's just a build I didn't pick.
The year of 55 on old Towshetty Prime, a mile beneath the methane ice, way down in the mine.
There is nobody here, by the way. It's almost like I've already been here.
Forgot the hatch was closed. The blast knocked off the
Yeah, I
miner's
have.
block, but
But you
exposed
know, I
them
really
all
want that
below.
armor.
Accidents happen.
Now,
Or
a
was it?
catchy pitch for Auntie's products you simply can't live without.
Auntie's Choice Chum Bar is a delicious new food-adjacent
Come
snack
on.
from the maker of meaty roll-ups and spectrum leavings.
The Chum Bar is made from the finest coagulated slurry of both animal and vegetable byproducts.
Including but not limited to borscht entrails, sprat organs, salt tuna skin, nanner peels, and tobaccone husks for the perfect combination of crunchy and chewy.
Try
There
it
it is.
today.
And buy
And
an
cause a
extra
ruckus,
bar
I
to
guess. I
share with
want
a
this armor
chum.
geared to me.
Fine, fine. Let us proceed.
This one reminds me of the morning we drove the Protectorate
Disengaging
from
lock.
Fairfield.
Uranium armor is
A
now
good day
accessible.
for
Please keep
personal
your
freedom
appendages in the armor
and
at all
fair
times.
trade.
Medical limbo. The best death resistance armor that science can make. Note, those with a trypanophobia may want to use something else. So it's like full blown body armor, kind of like the armor suits from Fallout. The Brotherhood of Steel and whatnot. Enclave, there we go. Oh, that's right. NCR had some suits too, but they got destroyed in the war, I believe. That's the whole lore behind those. And no more dirty cowboy. We are sophisticated. We got some crazy ass body armor we're gonna throw on. Right? Did I pass it up? There it is. Automech suit. Holding jump allows you to hover by spending. What? Will also keep you alive even at death's door, but builds uranium poisoning while at 0 health, which can eventually kill you. Okay. Doesn't 0 health kill you anyways? Hover does not function while falling. So it's only like a jump prolonging thing. Well, that's kind of dumb. I still have my double jump ski, I believe, if I do this, right? Whoa! Dude, this is so unrealistic right here. Do you see those things? Right up against his face, like... Such a disadvantage. Okay. Do we have any cool helmets to go with this? And how do you make it so you can see them? Like if I put that on, you know, not sure how you make it so you can see your hats. No, I turned it off at one point in time, I believe. I don't remember how I turn it back on. Like in these settings? There we go. It is in here.
Repeat. This is a full laboratory lockdown.
Is that a kitty? Kitty! Hi, kitty. Oh wow, 15% base health. Huh. Oh, that's kind of a normal thing, is it? Energy recharge. This one. Oh, yeah, we're gonna keep magazine size. I'm gonna tickle you. Tickle, tickle.
Interesting device.
It didn't slow me down at all.
Find people hovering annoying.
Oh,
Make it a mental note
that's
to
what they did
potentially
to me.
reassess.
I can't go back this way.
Godspeed to all you brave soldiers fighting on behalf of individual freedom and
Makes
personal
sense.
responsibility.
But I do know. A whole lot easier to see. Third person view.
Alrighty then, it's well past time for more merry melodies.
Wait a minute. Just irradiate? Huh. Didn't matter if I touched them or not. They were gonna fuck me up anyways. Okay, cool, but not like it's sealed forever, right? I can get out of here? Here we go. Right? Yeah. Nice. Huge upgrade. I don't think I getting any key cards though. Open that stupid door. Hold on a second, what's a climate option going on? Just real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh. Oh yeah. Scrambler card. Wonder if that's the card I needed. We'll find out. Life Support Laboratory. Log on. So very much work. Can it really all be for naught? The new sovereign has offered us a lifeline. We shall hold it. There we go, see? Are you saying I need like 50 of them hoes? What? Hack 11. Okay, so I think you can only go up to 10 and then 11 would be like part of an upgrade or something. That's how the other like... I think, if I'm not mistaken, the people that made Fallout New Vegas made this game. So think back to that game. It had that feature in that game. And other Fallouts. This is just pretty much Fallout in space. In my honest opinion. I mean, you have Starfield, but this is done up more like how New Vegas is set up. Minus, you know, the settlement building that started coming later on in like Fallout 4 and shit.
built on this protectorate stronghold
very similar
represents
layout as
just
far as
lick and
gameplay goes,
promise.
though.
Now we must pluck the
Alright,
high-hanging
well,
fruit.
maybe I got
Protectorate facilities so
lucky
hush-hush,
and
even
maybe I
our own
didn't.
citizens
Find
remain
out.
in the dark. No surprise there.
Wait a minute.
Protectorate brass keeps their people on a strict
I end up on this side.
need-to-know-nothing basis. Our
Do I have to
agents
go
in
back through
proprietary
there?
inside acquisition think a Sentinel training facility lies in them hills. Sentinels
I
are the
swear to God.
protectorate's ears and
I
eyes,
hope not.
ensuring the populace remains fat and happy.
Need to go
Or
over
else,
here, right?
simply their base
Or
would be a trove of military technology well defended. Also earmarked for acquisition, a promising mountain lab
I do
dedicated
need
to
to go
rift
back to that building,
experimentation
I
and
think.
general alteration of
It'd be
the
the
fabric
smart
of
thing to
space
do,
and
because there's
time.
nobody in there.
Those unimaginative
Be the
protectorate
fastest way, I
executives
believe.
settled this facility with the predictably dull moniker
There.
Interstitial Reconfiguration Center. I'll pause while you stifle your yawn.
It is
Classic failure
badass.
of basic branding. No sizzle whatsoever. We'll fix that soon enough when our forces take the lab and our lab coats appropriate its intellectual property. Speaking
Not
of
ready.
appropriation,
Please try
the
again later.
freelance agent who's become such a fixture on these airwaves reportedly procured a device from the lab that may actually control rifts. Obviously, we are vested in acquiring such a contraption. We might use it to control the trade routes, or simply
I just
swallow
keep
up the
finding stuff.
competition.
Guess I
Imagine
didn't
the
do a
profit
thorough enough job
possibilities. Our
looking
Arcadia
around.
takeover is a marathon, not a sprint. We're all in the sprat race together. Soon enough, Praetor's midnight moonscape will be lit like high noon with
Fastest fuck boy in this thing, though. Holy shit.
Now, on to other things.
Gotta be super slow in this suit.
Mind off your worries. Unless you're being hunted by a pack of raptidons or some such.
Wireless Free Arcadia presents our top requested marketing melody, Forced Rockets by the Herschel Sisters.
Force rockets. Force rockets. Put a rocket in your pocket and launch your launch today. When you miss the call for
Tickle,
chow,
tickle.
but
Well, that
you
was a
want to
while
eat
ago.
something now.
Can I zoom this in a
You
little
would
bit?
go for lunch with
Not like that, huh?
Force
Let me
rockets.
put that over here.
When your team is getting
That.
cramped and your wingers out of steam, recharge your tossball crew with
Now I'm not using the tablet. I should have this over here. I don't miss chat like that.
Force rockets. Put a rocket in your pocket and launch your lunch today.
It's a completely different. It looks a little bit different. I still had it down there. I have it set so the bots wouldn't show up on my end, but they're still showing up, so I'm missing chat a couple times there. Okay, so I have been in here. Yep, okay. I think we can, skedaddle. This place is just loaded with stuff. All the stuff. Give us the stuff. No? You're gonna grab that wall, aren't you? Thank you. Thank you, kindly. So wait. Yeah, we need to go over that way. But we can't go that way. We gotta go this way. Whee! Okay, so it poisons you a little bit whenever you use it for a long period of time.
Can't attack what's not there.
On a moon with no hope of rescue soon. You can save the
It's
day
access
with
codes, not a
Force rockets.
card.
When your ships
Hmm.
adrift and lost.
You think it would have a mission to get the card?
Why won't your mates when you've got
Ooh, hold on.
Force rockets? Force rockets. Force rockets. Put a rocket in your pocket and launch your lunch today. bucket and launch your lunch today. Put a rocket in your bucket and launch your lunch today.
I swap weapons often. I just do that. Yep. 20% damage every time I swap a weapon out.
You to the top rung, plus all the news that's fit for listening. This is wireless free Arcadia.
I have no idea.
Batten down your quarterly budget for an asset report. You know what deserves some visibility? Praetor, a gloomy moon that's become quite the shining star in our portfolio. Thanks in no small part to the chemical plant we liberated from the Protectorate in the earliest
Kitty
phases
loves
of
to take
equity
the
building here in
spots.
Arcadia.
Needs the warm spots. They covet. As you get up. Ooh, warm spot.
Not much of a market for mood depressants after all. Solvents,
Okay, so I just
food
raided that
additives, adrenaline
place.
stimulants, scented exfoliants. Those are the surefire molecular chain moneymakers. The Praetor plant
Let's go back
operates
in here
around
and I
the
guess
clock
look at the
peak
journal, huh?
efficiency. Yet employee safety, as always, is given the utmost of brief consideration. 12 out of 10 top medical technicians recommend working in proximity to caustic chemicals. Slurry fumes really open up the sinuses.
Yes, but
and who
where?
needs
I can't
fingerprints
get to them.
anyway? It has been 6 days since the last fatal workplace incident, but rest assured it was not the fault of the plant foreman or any execs in charge of that management. As acknowledged on page 98,
Go do that.
subsection K
Where's
of the
Tristan?
ironclad wrongful death waiver that every new hire signs,
What?
if there's a workplace
Brother.
death, the deceased did something wrongful. The Praetor plant's
Oh,
trifling
okay.
risks are worth its substantial
I'm
rewards,
full
expanding our
here.
reach in the lucrative chemicals market. Because
I
when
don't need to
Auntie's
go
choice
over there.
diversifies,
Oh,
we conquer.
or find a key.
Now, on to other things.
Hold on a second.
This one goes out to all
Where
those
is
aspiring
Tristan?
to climb the rungs of their department. May you ascend swiftly, through talent or guile.
I'm looking for
Not
a
on
meal
this
that
planet?
doesn't leave me feeling hollow. Don't want to do no cooking. All I want to do is swallow. Hey, here's a fancy can. Wow, it's a
What about
real
here?
beauty. Let's see what's inside and get back to our duty. Worst, oh worst, it's not the worst unless it's worst,
That's not on this planet either.
worst.
Thinking about coming back to games you haven't played in a long time.
Lungs to hearts, they use all the tastiest parts. Ears to
I wish it would kind of tell you what planet.
It's not the worst unless it's worst. Grab a can today.
Yeah, it's just telling me when I pick this mission, which is here, to just go that way, right? Over here? It is. Okay. Couldn't see it behind that fucking blip. There's a blip on the blip. Or check. Oh, that's right. Put it over here.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Say, hold up there, friend. Watch out. That way's a minefield.
Ha! I laugh at danger. I'm a get
The
up
one
and
here,
go
or
getter.
is it just in the ship? Okay.
Whoosh! That's the sound of me throwing caution to the wind. While the herd wait for permission, I see my opportunity and
Take the
it.
archive.
I hand make my own luck. Don't follow the herd. Eat Purple Berry Crunch by
Have to
Auntie's
leave?
Choice.
And go
Every
where,
flavor-filled
though?
morsel is packed with the pep and pertinacity you need to succeed. Are you
Oyster.
a get up and go getter?
Yes, well, enough of that, I suppose.
This is for anyone out there who just lost out on a big promotion. Keep your chin up. Next time.
Now you're telling me to not be here? Oh. What's that?
I'm your king, and
This? Maybe?
Every last bit that I'm paid,
Whatever.
every last bit that I save is intended
We're
for
doing it.
although the cost may be high.
This is Anti-Cleo, offering a warm welcome to all visiting Anti's Choice employees, affiliates in training, and ethically brave consultants who labor with committing to a side.
Now I'll take one that's brand
Live, love, laugh, purchase, and consume.
With Anti's Choice. As your peerless leader, known for her
Wait a
unparalleled
minute.
business acumen,
What?
Maybe focus on self-bettering yourself.
I do enjoy spectating a rousing sporting match as much as all of you.
How do I get back there?
You go on ahead. I'm shilly-shallying about what to do.
But our Arcadia grown
Please have identification, transfer work, and a reasonable bribe at the ready. Ah, you're not a transfer or visiting Auntie's Choice employee. I'll need to check your current standing with corporate affairs.
And don't get me started on their arbitrary rule changes. Bronzing is prohibited in the Tuesday and Thursday zone.
Yeah?
Now that is certainly an intriguing statement.
Yeah, that's like
We at
giving away a lot of
Auntie's Choice only care about
information,
flights to us at Auntie's
which
Choice.
an ex-convict probably
One of
wouldn't
our
do.
rivals. We should get along fine. Alrighty. Commencing review. Estimated wait time? Unknown. Really? Reads like a recap of an Aether Wave drama. You're the questionable sort who we do business with, but you're definitely not our best friend. You should probably consider accepting our special offer. All it requires is allowing us to affix an Auntie's Choice holo advertorial inside your ship, so you can bear our messaging with pride and share it across Arcadia.
They forfeit by little time. It would be an embarrassment of bodyguard. Imagine ad windfall. Our athletic assets with full profit potential as human.
Sure.
Splendid. Should be ready next time you're back. Enjoy your time on the ACS Undisputed Claim, the pride of Auntie's Choice corporate war fleet. Here's a ticket to the first stop on the Profit Mover Trimicular. From there, make your way through the Esplanade to the head office tower reception desk for details on our exciting contract opportunity.
Earth Directorate agents may accept freelance opportunities so long as they align with the priority mission.
What nature inflicts to offer higher quality pharmaceuticals designed to be
Valuable.
nature, because nature wants to kill you. Since then, our company has grown, evolved.
Or to the head office tower.
First of many rivals, but that original goal remains one of our goals. Yes, now we strive to
Why are we aiming?
better free trade and self-betterment throughout the galaxy. But we do so knowing
That was
Wait a minute.
sponsored by Auntie's Choice Office of Munitions and Catering. Time to restock your arsenal?
Maybe I do
Whether
need to go
it's
this
a
way.
business dinner or banquet event, they have everything you need in one place.
But how,
Thank you so
though?
much for tuning in.
Oh, I can go this way now. Nice.
To think, only what to buy.
The following is a special selection from Antique.
You have questions? We have answers. Anything you need to know about this fine location for a minimal price.
Key locations on the ship? Any ideas?
Like what? Ask away.
Ooh. Say someone wanted to ally with Annie's Choice. Where would they go?
Ah, a potential outside contractor. Check in with the intake specialist at head office tower for the full spiel. They're in the reception area on the main floor. There's a stop for head office tower on the Termicular if you've got an all-access pass, or you can hoof your way there through the value-added Esplanade to get there. Anything else you need to know about this place?
I'll give you 50 bits 3 more times. Shit. Where can a person get healed or stock up on medicine?
The Esplanade. There's a medicament merchant for trauma kits and such, and there's a doctor just up the stairs from them.
Where's a good place to hobnob with important people?
Definitely the best choice. It's a tray-exclusive VIP saloon on the value-added Esplanade. The private elevator up to it is directly across from the recording studio. You're not thinking of trying to go in there, are you? Oh. Oh. Good luck.
I mean, you are going home $200 richer.
Oh, that's an easy one. There's a workbench and a weapon dealer over in Market
I think
Compliance.
it's fair
back
trade.
behind the
Just a little bit.
value-added Esplanade. If you get to head office tower, you went too far.
Oh, no KT for me? Fair enough. We know more about the people on the ship.
Or whom? Or such as?
Oh. Who's in charge?
Does the name Auntie Cleo ring a bell at all? You may have seen her face or heard her voice, well, everywhere. She's rather ubiquitous,
I
you
think
might
she's
say.
not real.
Here especially.
Or at least not alive
I almost feel
anymore.
bad taking your money for that one. No, there. I've worked through it. Don't worry, it passed. Need details on anybody else?
Does she live here?
Our illustrious CEO does work here, yes. Don't really see her out and about too often. So perhaps you could say she lives in her office. That's the top floor of head office tower. No way you're getting to see her without an invite, though. Not sure if she's taking appointments with contractors, but they are hiring outside help in head office tower reception.
Where can I find Gertie Hewitt? You know, the East delegate.
Like most of our execs, she can be found in head office tower. I'd proceed to the reception area. Well, farewells are free.
Time for one more lesson. So I shot her one last question. I said, but I worry about reprisals when dealing
Pay
with
for every question.
Suppose I cannot think the bastards.
Get my money back.
If all else fails, kill the bastards.
Takes all sorts.
They're playing checkers. You're playing chess. They think you'll retreat, but that's when you press. The game is cutthroat, so be a cutthroat.
Trinicular.
Do what you can and do what you must to get far ahead, but never get caught.
Say what? Do I have to get on like a...
Control of personal belongings on the tram at all times.
Okay.
My corporate seal had been
There's a lot of secrets and like side areas in this game. Everywhere.
come to an end.
I love it.
Auntie quickly penned an invoice for her time, and smiling, she said,
This is how you climb. There's no such thing as free advice, dear.
Where you'll find a wide assortment of products.
She's just the best choice.
I was gonna say, man, that's some meters away.
To wireless free Arcadia for merry melodies and prevailing conditions on the battlefield. Brought to you by Auntie's Choice. Building a better Eden
Yeah, I was
where the
just
skilled and imaginative may rise.
Be a
Why
doppelganger
settle
almost.
when you can thrive?
There are so many reasons to
Oh
shop
no,
for
god
Auntie's
dang
Choice
it.
products. We have a
Didn't
wide
look.
range of goods for every budget, from the most extravagant to the most
Okay.
bit-minded of
Nobody's
customers.
coming after me.
We have food and
Yet.
drink for every taste and
Very
mood
mild
you can
bounty.
imagine. imagine, plus a few more that you can't imagine, but that we can sell you recipes for. We are also the only retailers for parasite-free purple berries.
The term parasite-free indicates the fact that any kind of parasite found in an Auntie's Choice product is provided free of charge and is not the property of Auntie's Choice or its subsidiary company.
I'm sure this is impressive to someone, but not me.
You there? Yes, you! I'd recognize your kind anywhere. You're one of those folks that eats food, and I've got just the sort of grub you've been missing. Feeling queasy? Seeing spots? Bleeding from orifices either natural or
Antibiotics.
unnatural? If you have a malady,
Hey.
Oh, hey, think you dropped something?
Unrelated bric-a-brac. We got your unrelated bric-a-brac right here.
Huh?
We market the most miscellaneous miscellany on the ACS Undisputed Claim.
Well, let's see what you got.
One person's hodgepodge is another's
Show me
eclectic
what you
gallimaufry.
got.
Sprat crisp, you really gotta try 'em. We pluck a sprat straight from a trap, then smash 'em flat and fry 'em.
Vortex Mall. Hell is that? A pet for your ship? Ah, I bet you they make terrible pets. Hmm.
I'm Jean Perfect Tyler, sixth spokesperson for the anti-Coyote Darlings.
Okay.
Chewing is
That's
for
kinda
chumps
neat.
and injecting is for itches. Come ingest your nourishment the debonair way.
Okay. Full circle. Okay, am I going the wrong way? I am. Do, 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 do. I got missions on both sides of me.
Oh, hey, think you dropped something?
It's the burning sensation.
Drop something. What did I drop? Gimme, gimme.
Exclusively at the bottom runner. We put the toxic in intoxication.
Well, this is a cool little area.
Purpleberry product samples! Purpleberry product samples! Complimentary purpleberry comestibles! Compliments of Auntie's Choice! Hey, go-getter! Get yourself over here. You. Yes, you. The maverick outsider with a dynamic joie de vivre. Do come here.
Product-oriented
Talk later. From the maker of meaty roll-ups and spectral leavings.
The Chum Bar is made from
something I can help you with?
animal and vegetable byproducts.
Including but not limited to borscht entrails, sweet organs, salt tuna skin, nanner peels, and tobacco husks for the perfect combination of crunchy and chewy.
Try it today.
And buy an extra bar to share with a chum.
Whoa.
Fine, fine. Let us proceed.
Next up, something reasonably peppy. Please consult your employee handbook to determine if dancing is presently allowed.
the ground. Impractical and got you down. Well,
There really nothing else to do
it's the
here.
natural cure. Oh, live off, fly free. No longer does my packed intestine stick me where I have to be. Oh, live off, take wing. Don't flounder at the bottom. Be a raptor in the slipstream.
Yes, may I help you somehow? Likely by reminding you that this is not the entrance for unwashed service plebes. Please go tell your manager
I
to fire
wipe
you.
my
Then
face
follow
all over
proper
you
protocols, or we'll find
and
other
drag
vendors
my
to
feet through
patronize.
your rugs as my sweet, sweet plebeian self. Hmm. I mean, yes, please go tell your manager to fire yourself. Then follow proper protocols, or we'll find other vendors to patronize. My, but you are rude. Absolutely everything you just said is offensive. If I wasn't afraid of getting kicked off the ship, I would happily punch you in the face.
Good. The intention is to keep
See,
riffraff like
I
yourself
should
as
have
far away
just
from
went
the
through the
lounge
punch
visiting
you in the
clients as
face.
possible. I'm glad my
Yeah.
choice of words got that point across very
Yes,
clearly.
yes.
Now please, go anywhere else so that I can tend to the actual patrons worthy of entrance into the best choice.
Yes, pip pip and all this and all that. What was that now? Not care. Did I really not get in any trouble for that? No bounty? Nothing. Hold on a second. Maybe I can go back far enough where I can change what I say. Maybe the outcome will be different. Or is she just gonna be a cunt every time? Kitty! Hi, Kitty. Kitty! Ooh, I do have autosave. But it's not the right one, Kitty. Need this one? What do you think? Kitty! A Tickle. She likes to leave her feet on me because she thinks maybe it'll keep me from getting up. So she'll just stand on me with her back legs and just stand there. They go in for little tickles sometimes.
Andy's Choice Chum
Just
Bar
little
is a
tickles.
delicious new food-adjacent snack from the maker of meaty roll-ups and spectrum leavings.
The Chum Bar is made from the finest coagulated slurry of both animal and vegetable byproducts.
Including but not limited to boar's entrails, sprat organs, salt tuna skin, nanner peels, and tobaccorn husks for the perfect combination of crunchy
Oh my
and
goodness,
chewy.
sweet loaf.
And buy an extra bar to share with a chum.
Yes, may I help you somehow? Like,
Shut
please
up.
go tell your manager to fire you.
Punch you in the
Good.
face.
The intention is to keep riffraff like your. Now, please.
Really? Huh. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's that dumbass bitch. After the fact. Oh. Oh my goodness, you're so soft. Oh, kitty. Oh, sweet kitty.
Andy's Choice Chum Bar is a delicious new food-adjacent snack from the maker of meaty roll-ups and spectrum leavings.
The Shumbar is made from the finest
So
varieties
I'm a guest.
of both
Please
animal
be
and
nice to
vegetable
me.
Including but not limited
I don't
to
think it's
cold
still. I
peels,
still don't think it'll go over
sprout
well.
salt tuna skin, nanner peels, and tobacco husks for the perfect combination of crunchy.
Yes, may I help? Please go
Yes.
tell your manager to. Oh, really? You think that you belong in our lounge, dressed like that? 3 cysty pigs in a trench coat would have a better shot at getting in than you do right now.
Just
The
double
owner
down on
tasked
the
me with
insults.
maintaining the posh allure of the best choice, and you are hardly the kind of inestimable personage that would be proper to admit.
And what would make me increase
A
my importance?
significant contribution to my post-Boniface retirement fund.
I wouldn't pay one bit for that attitude, dear. I'm sure we can find other means inside.
What if I'm really good conversationalist? Would that be great for the club? I mean, I guess I am already.
My, but aren't you a charmer? Clearly, there's more to you than the way you dress. Very well. I'll grant
What?
entry for the normal luminary rate.
I don't even know what that rate is, but it's ridiculously expensive, I guess.
Excellent. It saves me having to explain to Vala why I let someone in dressed like
Oh my god, can I
that.
please at least beat her? Just a little. How and where do I get into this place? I'm confused.
This unit has identified that nearby vent as a possible means of gaining entry.
What vent? Valerie, you confuse me. I don't see a vent anywhere. Said it would let me in.
You're back. Since you see
You
fit to
bet.
continue wasting my time, you ain't
never-
soiling our fine establishment with your presence. Think I made that real clear.
Yes, but I figured that by now and have realized the mistake you made.
All right. I'll grant that was passingly clever. I suppose I can make an exception just this once. For a moderate contribution to my post-Boniface retirement fund.
Why didn't she let me in the
My,
first
but aren't
place?
you a charmer? Clearly, there's more to you than the way you dress. Very well. I'll grant entry for the normal luminary rate.
Oh, I don't have the money. I see. I see. Hold on, one second. Let me.
You ain't soiling our
Shut
fine
up.
establishment with. All right. I'll grant that was passingly clever. I suppose I can make an exception just this once. Shoot.
Whatever. What vent are you talking about, Val? I didn't see no vent.
You're tuned to wireless free Arcadia. The best
Yeah, for
things
real.
in sliced breadworm. Now with 110%
There's a vent
more
over
music,
here you can go
entertainment,
through.
news, and product placement. Stop all your moving and shaking,
Use the lion, bitch. Maybe it's downstairs.
Space Rift has undergone a sudden and rapid intensification in size and vigorousness. And not in a new and improved bigger is better kind of way. Our own VP of Product Development, Gertie Hewitt, can attest to that. Auntie's right-hand VP was
Apparently the vent's in there somewhere. I don't know where, but I want to go do this.
Luckily, she escaped in a last-minute dramatic fashion worthy of a wireless serial, such as our own corporate fixer. What do you think,
Attention, morally gray outs. Hello, daring self-determinist, stalwart seeker of self-betterment, or rapacious rogue of corporatism. Welcome to Auntie's Choice Esteemed Invaluable Disposable Agent Program. As in Ida, your assignments will be some of the most decisive and admirable tasks that Auntie's Choice has to offer. Idas help explore the wilds, plot our path, and shape the evolution of our beloved corporation. And with enough rugged determinism, you might even live to see the results.
Oh, how nice. I actually have an invite from Vice President Gertie Hewitt. Directly, thank you very much.
And you can see her as soon as I'm finished. Where was I? Oh, yes. Because you are making a choice to grab destiny and claim it as your own. A
My
choice
balls.
to be Auntie's choice. Now, I'm finished. You'll find VP Hewitt right over there. When you're done, please exit to your left, where 2 of our top 29 vice presidents are waiting for you.
Wait. 200 and what?
Well, wonderful to meet you. CF Pendergrass III, Strategic Reconfiguration. It's not every day we have such a capable operative accept our invitation to the undisputed claim. While it was those ill-fated peace talks that got you here, I've kept tabs on you for a good long time.
Yes, we've
Creepy.
all kept tabs. Auntie and I have spoken about you several times now. Ursula Ormsby, Proprietary Insight Acquisition. You'll report to both of us. For now.
Indeed. It is our pleasure to meet you, and I am beyond tickled to welcome you to Auntie's Choice.
Indeed, it is a pleasure to meet you, and I'm beyond tickled to welcome you to Auntie's Choice. Yeah, I don't really do that.
Yet they are indubitably one and the same. By coming into my
Indubitably,
employ
yeah.
and helping to secure Auntie's interests, you are directly manifesting a stable future for this colony.
At Auntie's Choice, we make things happen. If you want to move something along swiftly, you come to us. If you want to endlessly dither about numbers, talk to the order.
Dither
You, my friend, are being given the opportunity of a lifetime. Auntie's Choice has a dynamic new vision, and we need a specific kind of go-getter to make it happen.
Why do you need me since you're such a large corporation and all?
We need someone not shaped by Auntie's meritocracy. It serves its function, but our workers tend to focus on
Meritocracy,
rung
gross.
climbing. We need an individualist who sees unorthodox solutions. A daring, non-conforming perturbation ameliorator to implement our monopolistic mercantile methodology plan.
More succinctly, we are recruiting an expert
Words.
outside consultant.
Wall word. Yeah, can we stop being vague and just tell me what you want me to do?
Be our eyes and ears, act as our emissary, and when necessary, dispense with any competition. I have a plan, a vision that will change the course of Auntie's Choice.
Yes, Charles, your vision. Created alongside myself, a team of researchers, slew of marketing experts, a moon-spanning computronic gizmo, and not least of all, Auntie.
This is called padding. You could stop now. No more speaking lines for both of you. Yeah, sure. The course of Annie's Choice and all.
Wonderful! This is the kind of wily adventure and self-determinism you will
Wily,
absolutely not regret. Your
You go
first
get 'em,
assignment
Tiger.
demonstrates some of the very qualities we need. Something unexpected, or in truth, unprecedented, has happened
Never
at
been
one of
seen
our repackaging
before.
facilities on Praetor.
If I understand correctly, they're having something of a workforce issue. Don't know rightly what you call it.
I bet.
Workers are, well,
People like you
asking for things.
around and nobody wants to do anything.
They've stopped working. The workers
Air,
there
lots of
simply
air and sound
stopped.
coming out of your face holes. Lots of it. Stopped, as in quit? Away.
They expressed, and I know this is going to sound more than a bit strange, dissatisfaction.
No.
And they said they won't return to
They
work
weren't
unless
happy
things
to
at the
work
plant
with you guys? No
improve.
way.
Specifically,
You guys
they
just shut the
stated,
fuck up and let me
"Until we
leave?
meet their demands." As though
Drill my
employees
ear
have a right
holes
to
out.
demand anything of their employers.
Is? And you want me to make them get back to work. Hey, they're striking. You're talking about workers' strike. Yeah, we're talking about a workers' strike. What's your problem?
Striking? You're saying they're about to turn violent?
Yes, well, if they're this delusional,
Oh!
violence is the next
Yeah,
natural
this isn't
step.
like
Who do they
on the
intend to
nose
strike? Us?
IRL or anything, huh? Oh, protest. They must be rioting. Oh! Oh my god, heathens. No, it's just an old Earth term. It means they're stopping work to force you to negotiate.
Dear law, what a bunch of devious, ungrateful, greedy little prigs! After all the opportunities
You're such a whiny little
Auntie's given
bitch.
them
I
to
want to
repay
snatch a
us like
mustache
this.
off your face.
I'm so disappointed.
So what do you suggest we do about such an utterly unheard of situation? It is absolutely imperative that we get those people back to work.
They're telling us
Whatever it
no.
takes.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm going to make sure that they turn against you. How about that? I mean, I suggest you negotiate so if you can find a middle ground between you.
Negotiate? As in, give in to some of their demands?
Yes,
Will
you
that set a
fucking
terrible
rich
precedent for
turd.
others?
No,
I mean,
Ursula,
you
it
sophisticated
won't,
tyrant.
because we won't be the ones doing it. That is exactly why we've hired you as my brand new perturbation ameliorator.
Ew,
You'll
I'm
solve
not
the problem
perturbating
for
anything
us,
for you.
and we will retain absolute deniability.
Hate that word. Yeah, like like this. It's insulting that you think I'm dumb enough to be your scapegoat.
No, you misunderstand my
No.
meaning. Deniability doesn't mean we hide behind
Circular
you. It means
reasoning.
you
Oh,
may act outside the
yes,
fundamental
no.
tenets of Auntie's Choice Society.
But you,
You're a bitch.
who are not officially an Auntie's Choice employee, can do whatever
You're a
you
cunt.
want. Anyone asks about our involvement, and we can disavow it.
Paranoid. Air? I'm sure I'm just gonna go talk to him, and then I'm going to side with him. See you later.
Wonderful. You'll go to
Wunderbar.
Praetor, meet the plant's overseer, and mediate an end to this lunacy, which gets those ingrates back to work.
Oh my
I
god.
have zero doubt
Can I
Auntie
kill
and I will be
them
completely
and just take
impressed
over
by
your
efforts.
company? I mean,
Unless you
it's
disappoint,
kind
in
of
which case I will disavow that
the
statement.
corporate way in space, right? I'm joking.
Here's a bulletin that will boost your boardroom confidence. An update on major combat operations across Arcadia. Because when it comes to Auntie's bottom line, war is swell. News from the front lines is nothing but grand. Look no farther than Praetor. Not the most picturesque piece of real
Treat
estate.
people like garbage. What next? What now? What? What do I gotta do?
Impregnable protectorate stronghold. A dank
What?
glow-in-the-dark closet to stack all the skeletons of their repressive society.
Why?
Look at it.
Why you have me come back in here? Talk to him again for what?
Hello again. I hadn't expected to see you so soon, without the job done. What can
Oh
I
my
do for
god.
Because they've definitely come back just to see you.
Please, just tell me.
The foreman of the facility is Relabelization Overseer Griggs. She will explain the particulars of the situation and guide you in its resolution.
Oh, I hope she's more bearable than you.
We await your success.
Shh. You meets, you face meets, shut him.
Down and outers are jealous lower managers who balked when Auntie first proposed we put boots on the ground. We don't trust wireless free Arcadia. We're straight shooters, just like our combat forces expanding our market
Nobody loves a jetpack.
Exclusive cocktail is our most
This is when you just kind of get one out of nowhere. Ugh. Yeah, back we go. Whoa. Physics is easy. D. Let's get physical, physical. I have kitty ball. Kitty ball. Ball of kitty. Kitty, it's a kitty ball, kitty. Oh, oh, don't hurt me, kitty. I'm sorry. That was weird. I'm sorry. What happened? Like, leave me the fuck alone. That's what happened. At least when she bites, she doesn't bite hard, and when she claws, she don't claw hard anymore. When she first showed up, that's what happened. It was just a tiny baby till we donate this bag. He just was yowling in our garage. We were like, now you are our kitty.
Eviscerate, exsanguinate, defenestrate?
Who, what, where?
This unit is pleased to add asphyxiation, electrocution, blunt force trauma, and lethal injection to your list of life-terminating methodologies.
What? Oh, was I talking out loud?
And buy an extra bar to share with a chum.
Okay. Anyways, I need to go to Praetor or whatever. Right?
May you ascend swiftly through talent or God.
That's what it would say, but it looks like I need to go to Cloister first, maybe? Or is that a side mission?
Moment of your time, Commander.
Cloister. I've never been here before. There's some like CGI going on here. Yeah, I've been here before.
I can lend you all the bits you'll ever need.
So we gotta go to there. Yes, I did the things, right? Okay.
Unit is rated for extreme temperatures like those found on Cloister.
Hold. We're presently observing a ceasefire with Auntie's choice, but its duration may be subject to sudden reversal. Would hate for you to get caught in any crossfire.
Actually, I'm looking for the archive. Can you direct me there?
See that giant glowing structure in the distance there? That's the archive's main entry point. However, I'd caution you to give it a wide berth.
Oh.
The archive's under protectorate
Wide
control, and they
berth.
mean to keep it. You'll not gain access without serious military support.
There's some trouble here. You're such a bad. Very wide berth. You underestimate my ability as a one-person killing machine.
Are you in a high-risk life expectancy bracket? Because everything you're saying is precisely what I'd expect to hear from someone determined to lower the average.
I have on occasion. Wish to be mercifully released from this prison of flesh.
You and me both, friend. Cloister has been a difficult front, and losing the archive, first to the invaders and now to the protectorate, has made it even more painful. Never mind the rifts. If you're looking for a way to help us out, I recommend heading to Laplace's garden. Follow this path and you can't miss it.
That's what? What if hypothetically I was interested in destroying the order instead of helping it? What?
Hypothetically, I would be obligated to
Oh.
render you into disparate parts.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. It looked like it was a good thing to say. It was a very bad thing to say. I was like, how about I destroy your order? I thought we were talking about a different order. It was like, oh, reputation. It meant reputation down.
Conducive for cooling the archive.
Quite conducive, yes.
Hold. We're presently observing a
Hold.
ceasefire with Auntie's choice, but its duration may be subject to sudden reversal. See that? However, I'd caution you to give it a wide berth.
I'm a killing machine, and I don't like my
Cloister has been a
flesh.
difficult if you're looking for a way to help us out, I recommend heading to Laplace's garden.
Sounds like a good idea.
Avalanche collapsed part of.
Yeah.
Think thrice before rabble-rousing. We have numerical superiority.
You have a very non-scholarly look about you.
Dude, it sounds like a dictionary threw up in every single one of these people's mouths, and it's a little bit taxing. The inner 10-year-old self is screaming in joy, and my 40-year-old self is going, oh my fucking god, shut your fucking face, mate, please. I was one of those nerdy kids, beyond the video games. I was reading science books and dictionaries and shit. I wasn't like the other country boys. No, dude. The money, the cost of goods in this game is absolutely fucking ridiculous, my friend. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Almost $2,000 for 250 bullets. Dude, you don't even know how much time it takes to make $2,000 in this game, let alone just blow it on things to put holes in the thing. It's like some IRL style bullets right there. It's like Resident Evil. They'll give you just a few bullets to kill several things. In this game, it's like, oh, each bullet, that's money. That's lots of money, friend.
Repair personnel so long. Oh, greetings. By any chance, did you happen to encounter the repair personnel I dispatched to Resistor Bank 2789B12?
No.
Our new JTY-1030 resistor banks are built with enough durability to suffer through a tremendous amount of misuse. But the brutish handling by the Protectorate is too much for it. The misuse is causing moisture uptake, which causes the resistors to give off more heat. In the snow, that means more moisture, which means even more heat. I'm sure you can observe that the problem is cyclical in nature.
I find
I
it
don't suppose you'd be
exfoliating.
willing to aid me in fixing this?
Where can I find it?
It's down in the valley just southwest of the archive. The
Okay,
heat has liquefied
got
all the
it.
snow off the glass surface. It is an easy location to observe.
Sure.
Oh, this is most appreciated. Unfortunately, the previous repair personnel took the only repair kit I had on hand. I'll mark the coordinates of the resistor bank on your map, but locating the repair personnel will be up to you. If you find him, you find the kit. I hope. Otherwise, the repair will be most difficult. I'll guide you.
I love Auntie, yes,
No more speaking lines for you either.
like a real hairdo. I love Auntie, so do you. Let's buy Sisty Bits, covered in goo.
Okay. What? Which? This one? Nope, not that one. This one? We're just gonna go this way.
Next up, something reasonably peppy. Please consult your employee handbook to determine if dancing is presently allowed.
I find your proposed time
Leisure. Unaccountably so.
Guess we're not.
But
No, I'm not talking to you fools. You want to talk? Send me paragraphs. I'm good. I'll just run through the valley instead. How about that? I thought that was gonna be like a shortcut or something. Apparently, you do have to go over there. It's gonna be all the way around.
Might I confide in you, Valerie? I've been waking up feeling a bit stiff and sore lately. Any medical advice?
Musculoskeletal soreness is within normal operating parameters considering your age bracket. Engaging bedside manner protocol. You are no spring chicken.
Your bedside manner protocol needs an overhaul.
Noted. This unit will no longer refer to Marisol Delgado as a domesticated fowl hatched near the vernal equinox. Also, consider modifying the firmness level of your bunk mattress.
Oh, actually, that's good advice about the mattress. I hadn't thought of that. Thank you, dear.
Used to get along very well.
I suppose I could spare 0.004% of my daily cycle to say hello.
I suppose I wasted my time saying hello. So.
Insomnia.
This is the way I'm supposed to go, right? Crystals. Smoke them. Oh, what's this? A bunch of pieces and parts? Ooh, my immersion! It's tingling! Give me all the pieces. Whoa! Oh, I didn't mean to. Hey, what? Hold on, let me back in there. Oh, it's fucked up. I think. Getting up there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That. Okay, I guess that's it. For up here. Process rift data. Why you gotta be all fancy? Merry old soul. Ooh, piece of kid. Piece of kid. Ooh, little piece of kid. You dead? Oh, that's no piece of kid.
Heard that rift near the archive has destabilized.
I'll give you a rift.
Must be a
Places. It's the place. Garden. Yeah. Words.
Agent, I have a message for you.
Huh?
On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding
The
bishop
what?
is presently indisposed.
The
but I've
flossing
been
garden?
instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing
Grandpa
matter has
wants his
brought you
dance
to the
back.
garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard.
Belvedere.
Enter the large building at the top of the mesa
Belvedere.
ahead and follow the first hall on your right.
Whoa! I was led to believe that Vicar Alden may also be expecting me. Can you direct me to him? Get down. Floss it out. Yeah, she sounds important. You're giving away details. Tell me all about her.
The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism,
Over here giving me dirty
overseeing
looks
the
because I'm taking too
exemplars,
long
or
to respond
craftsmen,
to her.
of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview.
Purview. This. How do I know this whole thing isn't some sort of trap?
Ooh, I do love a good brain teaser.
Wait, what?
How would you know this isn't a trap?
I don't like that. Because it isn't one would have sufficed.
What a cunningly simple riddle. I shall have to
What?
dissect its mechanics
Bitch, are you
later.
trying to trap me or what? Is indisposed? Is he sick?
Oh no, not at all. The presiding bishop routinely spends time in a sensory deprivation chamber to hone her mental faculties. Of course, she does seem to be logging more hours in the chamber of late, but I'm certain that's all part of the plan. The rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs while the presiding bishop is occupied. Really, it's no reason for concern.
My God.
Nothing in the garden is.
Can I just, you know, talk to this vicar guy, please?
Oh, yes. The vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard at the top of the stairs.
Oh, like right there. Yeah. Thanks
May
for
all
filling me
your
in.
problems precede solutions.
With trace amounts of organic material.
Top of what stairs? Those stairs? These stairs? Half integration. Don't mind if I do.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. That's your third conviction today.
I
Welcome
need
to
some
the
right now.
integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today?
I've got plenty of convictions already, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Ooh, a provocateur, are you?
Mm.
How unconventional. But I think you misunderstood the question.
Provocateur.
Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested?
No. No. Sounds like a bunch of nonsense. Just give me some caffeine, please.
Strength?
Espresso. Thanks for noticing. Yeah.
I was referring to the strength of your drink.
Starts flexing. Strong as you can make it, huh?
Good choice. I take mine the same. Here you are. And don't worry yourself
I will
over
be
payment.
remembered by this
First one's
barista.
complimentary. I haven't spied you around before.
She gonna be like part of the end
New
game?
project appointment?
You gonna bring me some
Must be
magic
an adjustment,
mocha
all
at
things
the
considered.
end? I haven't spied you around before. Oh, that's her. Adjustment? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, as a matter of fact, but I'm still getting the lay of the land.
I see. And what lucky department have you been apportioned to? Surely it must be one of the big three.
Yep, all of them actually. Order just can't get enough of this brain of mine.
I'm sure. Once on a
big
lab tray,
brains.
even the most addled mind yields knowledge.
Flex them all over me,
You
stud.
do a passable impression of a scientician. Did you grow up near one of our settlements? Have a few years of order training?
I'm quite sure I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I understand. You
Oh,
may
secret
technically count as a
combos.
member, but there's a perfunctory element to your articulation. You don't believe in the plan, and you're clearly up to something. She sized you up almost immediately, Commander. Been softly probing you for information. I clocked her the first moment she opened her mouth.
Marisol for the wins. Yeah, I trust you. You're rarely wrong about just about anything.
Appreciate that. I spent decades undercover with only self-affirmations to assuage
Sure
my
have.
vacillating morale. Well,
You literally scare the
do I have to
fucking
shoot
shit
up
out
the
of
place?
everybody.
Or will you come clean immediately? Who do you work for, little mole?
By the architect, keep your voice down, please. Even if what you say is true, this isn't a conversation best
Yeah,
had amidst
Persephone,
present company.
ooh.
Let's talk somewhere more private. Behind the calf integration point, perhaps?
What?
She's just the best choice. It's Auntie's choice.
Amplified across the rings of Elysium, from the boardroom
It's
to
just
the
a trap.
bottom rung.
Why would we trust where she's going?
Official frequency of Auntie's
Marisol,
Choice.
you wanted the
The
questioning.
Auntie's Choice family is large and willing and able to grow larger.
We represent an
Yeah,
amalgamated collection of
when are you gonna
dozens
sneak
of
up on me?
different companies.
You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous.
Um, yeah, you have piqued my interest.
Allow me to whet your appetite for intrigue a little further,
Yes.
shall I? I have adequate reason to believe the Order is
Gross.
conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden.
Whoa, slow down. What are you talking about?
The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply.
Oh, that's why everybody's so chill. Yeah, that's not gonna work, bro. What? We need to tell people. Let's see. You don't seem affected because she's the one supplying the drugs. Yeah, you don't seem affected.
I'm limiting my water intake and using other pharmaceuticals to combat the effects. It's not a perfect
She's on that
system, but
tussin.
it works
Only.
adequately enough.
Oh, Persephone. Yeah, I get it. If I say if I say that, she's gonna flip the fuck out. This is not a good, sneaky thing to say. What's the partial effect feel like? Perfect junkie response. What's it feel like? I get some. Oh, well, if it's not harming anybody, then what's the big deal? But they're doing, like, mind control, right? Why would the Order do that?
Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder.
Oh, giant face. Well, everybody's happy. I don't know what to say. Yeah, you're drugging people.
Moderate your volume, please. No one here is in any immediate peril. Probably. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate. But it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would imagine it'd be really lucrative for the person who supplies that knowledge now, wouldn't it?
Who knew you had such a keen mind for business? I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug.
That's what you're doing.
Interested?
Isn't it? You are with Sub Rosa, aren't you?
So you've heard of us. Good. That makes this easier. My primary task has been to watch the Order. But I'm confident my superiors would
some
agree
type of,
physical
like,
proof
resistance,
is
I
of far
believe.
greater value than mere rumor.
I really hope you do care, and it's not all about the money, right?
No. This is about control. Everything is.
How do you figure?
Most see this as a war of survival. But what everyone's really fighting for is control over the narrative. To be declared victor and have their vision for Arcadia deemed superior. It follows that a drug capable of suppressing discontent could also be used to suppress greater forms
Yeah,
of
give
resistance.
me that drug.
That's all.
Make me blissful and happy and academic. I'm down. Sure, let's investigate it.
All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Watch the guards patrol before making your way into the facility. If worst comes to worst, I wager Laureate Beckett also has a keycard on him, but that might be tricky to lift. Lately, he's been sitting near the fountains, performing his silly little breathing exercises. If he's not there, then he's likely in
I'm a
conference with the
sneaky little
presiding
fucker.
bishop. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood?
Understood.
One more thing before you leave. Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll
Ooh?
have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have
Course.
something that'll make your job a little easier. And
Tell me
I'd
your
like to
secret
offload some of this
inventory.
merchandise. Sounds like a win-win.
$2,500 for one key for one box. Go fuck yourself. And these, are they worth it? Okay. These are all just pieces and parts. Plasma? But still, dude. Money. Everything costs a lot of money in this game. At least for now. I'd rather just blast my way through, and if I die, I die. But if there's anything interesting. Pharmaceutical primer. How many do I have? I have 19 of those fulls. I don't need any more. Oh.
The real reason wireless-free Arcadia exists. Advertising. Say, you've got your alien planting corollary in my invasive species fish paste.
You're a rugged,
Yep.
spacefaring frontiers person type. Try it, despite the countless voices screaming in your head not to.
Alright, I will be back in a minute. I'm gonna take a break. The thrill and kill. Don't you forget it now, folks. Oh shit, yeah, I'm still here. Oh my.
Medicine. Yet despite
Took
this
one
balefully
drawback to that.
repugnant mouthfeel, I feel great.
Everyone knows salubrious concoctions aren't
Wait a minute.
supposed to taste good. That's how you know it's working.
Nannerfish
What
restorative
if we had to?
elixir. Additional health benefits, none
Go
of
up
the
there?
delicious taste. New from
This place
Auntie's
is cool as
Choice,
fuck.
where nature ends, we begin.
Fine, fine. Let us proceed.
Alrighty then, it's well past time for more merry melodies.
The following is a special selection from Auntie the
What?
Musical, the all-singing dramatization of
You?
Auntie's inspirational origins.
You.
Well, this is a welcome confluence of events. Why, without you, Gertie and I wouldn't be alive. And any hope of peace between the Order and Auntie's Choice would be over. Shame about all the disorder. The negotiations had not been going as smoothly as I'd hoped, it's true, but we were making progress.
A moment of your time. Have you any tips for a bottom runger who's lost on the climb? See, I tried my best to urge her, but I rose before the merger.
Yeah, honestly, the idea between you two getting along, it seems quite impossible.
Despite the inherent complexity of such disparate factors converging, I do not share your pessimism. Peace talks between
Okay.
the Order and Auntie's Choice have admittedly stalled. However, Gertie and I have kept up communication through back channels in hopes to reconvene discussions.
Gertie, man. What would it take to get you guys to work together?
To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince
That's
them
pretty
to
vague,
consider
though,
joining
sir.
forces.
What is it for me?
For one, having the allied might of their forces at your back when facing down the Protectorate. If that's not sufficient, perhaps some additional incentive could also be provided. And if you might
Do
consider an
tell.
appeal to your better nature, ending the conflict between Auntie's Choice and the Order would have untold benefits for all Arcadia.
I mean, gives me something to do.
Transplendent. Remember, seek out ways to help
Oh,
both sides. Engender trust.
transplendent.
Gertie and I can
Oh,
let you know
dude,
when
there's
it's
so many
time to move
words in the
forward.
dictionary that
In the
just sound
meantime, I might
terrible
recommend you
that
work
need to
on
just stay
honing
there.
your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
Presiding oratory, I presume. Only problem with the fiber rings that I make. Get moist if you don't take them off every time you go to wash your hands. Ooh. Is there anything to raid in here? Give me your things, all your things. What the f-
Without the Artificer Laureate's permission. Please direct any inquiries to the Artificer Laureate.
Oh. Things all sealed up. Sometimes there's secret stuff.
I said, but I worry about reprisals when dealing with my
This is not one of those times.
or outthink the bastards.
If all else fails,
Hmm.
the bastards.
Now, I've been playing this for almost 2 hours, and I don't think I got into one shooting match with a single soul.
Think you'll retreat, but that's when you press. The game is cutthroat, so be a cutthroat.
Do what now? Solicit the orders, or it's just that easy. They're like right here.
A visitor. It's for the best that you're talking to me now instead of mid-work. I do seem to have a slight propensity for stabbing randomly with my tools when interrupted, but I suppose that's enough time
Stabbing
spitting in
what,
the statements
where?
column. Speak away.
Bitch, you don't know me. You don't know me. I received a message that Ruth was indisposed and to speak with you in her stead.
What are you... Beckett. Another prediction that he hasn't seen fit to notify me about.
Typical Beckett.
A more cynical exemplar might posit his doing this to be intentional. If you're here, I imagine you aim to petition the presiding bishop for her support, which is hardly a surprise.
I aim to do
She is the
something.
most important
Make you all get
individual in
along if I
Arcadia.
need to. It. I'm the most important person in Arcadia. So I can see her or what?
Not if I cannot gauge for certain if you can be trusted. I cannot allow just anyone to
Okay,
wander
what
into
mission
Ruth's
do you need me to
quarters.
go do?
But there is something you could do to prove yourself worthy. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton.
Do I get
which
to
is a
go
nearby
shoot people in the
site of
face for
historical
once?
but not strategic
No.
significance. I want them gone. Once
Okay.
there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there.
I can manipulate those now.
Assuming you have taste, you surely will as well.
Why would you say you just piss them off? I'm gonna ruin this with my words alone. Why would you just back out after trying to opt in? Again, no. I'll deal with them.
I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete. May you act within the equation's confines.
We should collect Azza from the ship first. Unless you don't want the benefits of her inside knowledge of the cult.
Oh? Okay.
Now offering the and Pharmacon 5 walk-in industrial macrowave.
Make you go somewhere so I can steal this stuff.
For purposes we may only guess at.
Stuff, your stuff. I want your stuff. Give it a loot. Give it a loot.
Con 5 is now available to you, the unremarkable everyday consumer. Step inside.
Detected by her or one of my people.
Exciting your molecules
Oh,
and curing such ailments
never
as
mind.
dropsy, sciatica, narcolepsy, rickets, night sweats, and collectivism. Not recommended for longer than 1 second at a time. Not responsible for temporary or permanent damage to eyes,
Yeah.
teeth, skin, or general lifespan. Ask your doctor. Walk-in industrial microwave is right for you. Right.
Oh.
Moving on. This is for anyone out there who just lost out on a big promotion. Keep your
Can I? Like, is there anything to do up there if I can get up there? Ah.
I'm yearning.
That ain't happening. Alright, I gotta go kill people? Is that this right here? This right here. Okay.
Every last bit that I save is intended for you.
Smart researchers patronize the scientician's surplus. Quality goods at algorithmically determined prices.
I am so surprised I just get away with picking doors like that. Why? How unsneaky you are right now? Mario Soul. However you say your name. Give me that. Keep the door closed, guys. Ooh. Heavy duty sawn-off assault rifle? That kind of defeat the purpose. I mean, is it gonna shoot like a shotgun? Like my one pistol? Huh. A huzzah for missions in the wild.
Inspiring
The
sponsored
outer
content that will boost you
wilds.
to the top rung, plus all the news that's fit for listening is wireless free Arcadia. When we here at Wireless Free Arcadia,
Is that here?
we own up to it sometimes. Like right now in this batch of corrections. In last
Yes.
Sunday's weekend P&L report for the previous Saturday, we
I'll admit to a bit of trepidation in regards to opening mine.
Trepidation.
First one I've received
Of
since
my nation.
Gaining your stamina.
Locking them down. Mitigating the threat.
Restoring agent baseline quantifiers.
Check your scope.
I want to shoot.
Dealt with all of them. That was a close one.
Enough corrections. So we made a few mistakes. No need to keep harping on them for law's sake.
Oh, what's that?
Now, on to other things.
Heavy machine gun of some sort.
Different, tonally, if not thematically.
Wireless Free Arcadia presents our top requested marketing melody, Borst Rockets by the Herschel Sisters.
Force rockets. Force rockets. Put a rocket in your pocket and launch your launch today.
Oh, 95. Oh, it's a sniper rifle. Never mind. Wow, that's a terrible slide.
Soldier, please assess your pain on a variable scale of 1 to 100. 1 being entirely pain-free and 100
Need to finish recharging first.
Imagine.
Where's my medicine? And things. What am I using? 200 and 200? I don't get it. That one seems even more toxic than that one. Whatever. I'm trying to figure out a way to get rid of that poisoning. I forget how to get rid of that. Like I have anything on me. I could.
Is far too much variability in that field. The amount of pain you can imagine is hardly an objective measure of the maximum amount of pain I could actually feel.
Your observation is correct, which is a diagnostic in its own right. Now, if you were to indicate, using a scale of 0.4 to 12.7, how close you are to going into shock.
Sadly, that scale is entirely beyond my current comprehension, thus leading me to believe I'm already in shock, and the question is how to the actual test.
Excellent. Our diagnostic is complete. Feel free to resume roaming your eggs.
Each pollination cycle. Multiply that by the dozens surrounding most settlements and the many other flowering megaflora native to the colony, and you have a recipe for gunky
Permanent max 5 to health just for looking around. Baseball cards are hiding all over the place.
An easeful release from Arcadian allergens of all kinds. Use Falderall's mollifying demulcent and breathe easy once again.
Cycling through random conversational starters. Would you like to hear an order joke, Marisol?
If I say no, would that alter the trajectory of this conversation?
Unlikely.
As I suspected. Very well then, let's get this over with.
Preparing worst joke. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Answer. 6
Show your work,
afraid of 7.
There are so many people.
Experience fear, anxiety.
This is a very immersive map. Oh, God dang it.
Is this really where the plan has led me?
Tell me then, why should they not have
I'm not getting attacked. I gotta figure out a way to clear my name a little bit. Keep stealing shit.
A figure of ill
Just walk up like, ooh, what's that? Give me that.
Significant backlog of fines.
Allow me, child.
It's not the way to
I have
go.
a familiarity with order procedures. Such an unproductive misuse of time. I request we dispense with this matter in the interests of the equation and all who serve it.
But yes, quite right. The equation must take precedence. All charges shall hereby be purged from you and your companion's permanent record to avoid further distraction.
Glad my decades wasted outwitting petty bureaucrats weren't utterly in vain. But let's not overplay that option.
You would steal from your friends? How irrational.
Tension-suppressing pharmaceutics. Not much of a market for mood depressants after all. Solvents, food additives, adrenaline stimulants, scented exfoliants. Those are the surefire
Don't pick up a thing.
The Praetor plant operates around the clock at peak efficiency, yet employee
Not in the
safety,
open.
as always, is given the utmost of brief consideration. 12 out of 10 top medical technicians recommend working in proximity to caustic chemicals. Slurry fumes really
Yeah, none of that's worth stealing anyways.
fingerprints anyway. It has been 6 days since the last.
Have an intellectually stimulating day.
It was not the fault of the plant foreman or any execs in charge of that management. As acknowledged on page 98, subsection K of the ironclad wrongful death waiver that every new hire signs.
Make sure I'm going the right way.
Workplace death,
Yep.
the deceased did something wrongful. The Praetor plant's trifling risks are worth its substantial rewards, expanding our reach in the lucrative chemicals market. Because when Auntie's choice diversifies, we conquer. Now, on to other things.
Your shift on the front line is about to start. Bid farewell to the fire.
Well, I would happily oblige and leave the warmth, freezing temperatures. If you recall, we traded shifts last week.
That may well be true, but it seems to me I do recall you still owe me a favor. And I'm formally
Auntie's choice.
Salutations, Arcadia. Auntie here with a direct message to all.
I don't know who Auntie is.
Listening in. I'm afraid you've been fed a lot of fooey about Auntie's choice. Your so-called superiors would have you believe we're unscrupulous interlopers.
What is this? Weird stuff. Oh my god.
No, nothing could be farther from the truth. Listen to your auntie. They say they offer you
It's like a bunch of fluid they're harvesting. It's like some kind of ice. Oh.
I'm back and scanned.
Emergency protocols ready.
Oh shit.
Administering AC.
Adversary vulnerability.
Vital stat. Reducing debilitating.
Reviving.
This one reminds me of the morning we drove the Protectorate
I'm looking for a meal that doesn't.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Strive to perform better in the future.
Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad. No. No. Nope. No. Oh, up. Around the table we go. Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Straight to the dome piece. Who's hitting me?
No coarse force bristle smoke in our gum.
That Val?
Proprietary whisker extraction.
Oh, it's Valerie.
Gobble it down and get back to the action. Oh, howdy. Didn't see you there. You caught a 35 between our
Let's see if you
Thank
can
you.
keep the Sprat crisps fresher than your advertising copy.
When we need to relight our thrusters,
They really see me from all the way over here? Hold on a second.
No shoes,
Do,
no
do, do,
scrubs.
do.
Offers from Elysium View.
Um,
that's right. Nothing like
For your new
instant
role
soft
as
serving
executive
of
drainage
ferro
manager in
boost
recreant
productivity to
reclamations
full
and
burn on small
artificial
hours.
additives.
looking to get things simplified.
Back to the factory floor.
Is that possible?
To show there's no position too microscopic for Andy's management, I'd like to highlight
Changing hostiles.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Amplificator at ready status.
Come over here. No, you want to.
Fix on their weaknesses.
Until next time, everybody do your jobs like your CEO is watching over your shoulder. Because I probably am.
Restoring HPLC to baseline quantifiers.
Oh, they're like, hell yeah, let's just fight. Let's get in each other's faces. I don't want that either. Oh shit. Fuck you.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Apologies. Don't target, no attack. They're benumbed. Torpification in progress. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Featuring our finest pre-soaked red and dehydrated water tablets.
Combatant scan.
This one goes out to all those aspiring to climb the ranks in their department. May you ascend swiftly through talent or gut.
Unit controls how much voltage goes into the resist bank. This door bank, it seems, not be working properly. How do you get such a high engineering skill? It's beyond me. If I've ever come across one of those before. Alright, where else? What else? We gotta go this way, right? No. This way. Do I have to go up that way or this way? I'm gonna go this way.
Are you available to answer more questions, Marisol?
Actually, I'd like to ask
Hey.
you a question.
Needed one of those for that thing back here.
How would you say this crew compares to your last? An accurate observation. But how do they compare quality-wise?
Sponsored by Auntie's Choice, improving lives.
What does it do though?
Team members is strictly against
Get in
this
there.
unit's operational protocols for legal purposes. However, this unit has been required to break up false URLs,
Okay.
indicating strong
Glad I didn't have to do all
cohesion
that.
among the Incognito's current crew.
Wait.
Good to know. Some data is
that
better
it?
than none. Let's hope
What?
that cohesion lasts.
Report back to who? We're gonna go complete this. We ain't gonna leave. Do anything else right now.
Participation is mandatory. Now, on to other things.
Oh, you dirty whore. I see. Fuck that. What's all the glow stuff?
Badby Spierton was once the Order's headquarters on Cloister. Before all this.
Slurry of both animal and vegetable byproducts.
Including but not limited to forced entrails, spread organs, salt tuna skin, nana peels, and tobacco and husks. For the
Although I think I'm going to be breaking that thing down. What's this?
and buck an extra bar to share
Gold
with
ring.
Money!
Money!
One wireless station in Arcadia that doesn't tell you what to think, only what to That goes out to the dedicated employees of the Aggressive Acquisitions Department. Lost speed to all you brave soldiers fighting on behalf of individual freedom and personal responsibility. Alrighty then, last time for more merry days.
You know I'm going to keep trying. Just for a second. Wait, did you just try that on your...
Disruptive influences.
Sneaky peeky.
Fix on their weaknesses. Target analyzed.
Oh shit. That's a beastly boy.
Stun weapon ready, Commander. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Commander, taking the fight out of them. Mitigating the threat.
Mobility interrupted.
Come on, reload.
Batten scan.
Reducing health benefits available at your request.
Damn.
Administering a systemic
There's a lot of people over here.
potential threat in the facility.
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
What, where?
Target analyzed. Let down fire. Unready. Negative. Recharge incomplete. Locking them down. Fortifications. Still recharging.
Is there someone behind us? There is somebody flanking us. You motherfucker. Three, four. Okay.
Back in my sight.
This unit is in need of assistance.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Keep your bit stack in the wax, don't be a rubbing setter. Be the best that you would be if you were getting better.
Fortificator is charged. Combatant scan.
News, music, and honest product endorsements. This is Wireless Free Arcadia.
Unnecessary vulnerabilities identified.
Yeah, he's a torso. Even more so.
As you in the order, and we wish for you to join forces.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
I don't care. Give me all the stuff. But they are far away. We killed everybody that was all up in our face.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
No, I'm just killing. How about that? Sound good?
Hey, you there! Need a smoke?
This is enough. Taking the fight out of them.
Oh, well, no, first.
On Granadas.
This unit patiently awaits repair.
Fuck you! Get off of me! One of the cat thought I was done. That was surprised. Wow, dude. Just that one person, huh?
Come on out, so we might
I tried. Val, stop. Get out of there. Let them come to us. They will. Perhaps. There we go. Kind of freaking me out. And hopefully there's nothing like outside the window. Middle of the night. Spooky. Oh. They're like turrets. Okay, okay. Got you. Some health valve, thank you. And this shotgun does a lot of damage from a distance. So do I. It's called a shotgun. Sniper rifle. We got people up there now?
Check your scopes for combatant and torpification.
Let's do that. Now on to other things.
Definitely people up here.
Something a little different, tonally, if not thematically.
through his beneficent guidance.
Adversary mitigating the threat, taking the fight out of them.
Benefits available at your request.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire.
Protectorate forces detected. Conclusion. Spyreton has been liberated.
Is that just about everybody here? On the outside at least?
Protectorate has this sealed. It can only be unsealed near the archive's entrance, remember?
Yeah, well, I still want to look through stuff at least. There's gotta be more people out here somewhere. I heard it try. Oh, a little bit, but not too much. Let's see this. Ooh.
They are really quite
Sliced bread. Where am I supposed to get all these cards at?
that I am indeed the
I understand this spot has strategic significance for the defense of the archive, but it is horrifyingly banal. I mean, I've been stationed in some backwater burgs in the past. Seriously? Do these order eggheads do anything for fun around here? It's all math charts and chalkboards, and how many abaci does one outpost need?
Oxymorphone.
Hope they never retake this place, because I'm throwing all of it away.
Lower management to members of the
Oh.
board tap into each planet's zoological equity. Every episode, I focus on a different species to tell you the risks. Watch out for its tusks! The rewards.
Oh wow, I'm still not even where I need to be. I'm close.
Each animal brings to the table.
Do I go that way or do I go up and over?
Universe is full of things that want to kill you.
Can I?
What doesn't kill you boosts your net worth.
Wonder if it's
Is Big Gain
there. Huh.
Brought to you by Auntie's Choice Adrenatime. Work harder, not smarter.
There's an elevator. Maybe it's a way around. That's right, we have to.
I'm on Paradise Island, on the Elysium
Somehow.
a scenic piece of real estate, if you don't mind the occasional mine.
Can I? No? Damn it. I tried.
For now, let's turn our attention to this episode's Leviathan crustacean, the Crabble. Think of Crabbles as the star wingers of the animal kingdom, but with goring horns and bottomless bellies.
Oh, fast travel to my dad.
From your head to your boot.
Now, where did you load me up? Did I have any fast, not fast travel, quick saves? Auto saves? I hope so. I keep forgetting this is like Skyrim and Fallout, and I need to save often. Okay, good.
For the past fiscal year,
Did auto save.
profit safari across the Arcadia system, helping everyone from
Just before I grab
to
this
members
stuff.
of the board tap into each planet's zoological equity. Every episode, I focus on a different species to tell you the risks. Watch out for its tusks! The rewards.
Ooh.
Don't spill a drop of that arachnid discharge.
Brawny.
And what each animal brings to the table.
A brawny boy.
Auntie Cleo says the universe is full of things that want to kill you. But what doesn't kill you boosts your net worth. This is Big Gain Hunter. Brought to you by Auntie's Choice Adrenatime.
Oh, can I jump over this? Nope. Now, I just hope I can go around this way, or do I have to go up that way? Ugh. Hold on. It looks like...
For now, let's
yeah.
turn our attention to this
Follow it
episode's
this way.
Leviathan crustacean, the Crabble. Think of
Yellow
Crabbles
Grid
as the
Road.
star wingers of the animal kingdom, but with goring horns and bottomless bellies. They're omnivorous, a 10-bit word that
Wolverine?
means everything's on the menu.
Oh.
From your head to your boots. Not a pleasant way to go. Here on Eden, we find a few breeds. The Hammerclaw is a hull-headed rascal.
Oh,
Lives up to its
crazy.
name. Packs a wallop up close. The Bullet Claw breed lobs plasma from its claw joints.
This is a cool looking bridge.
You'll find various breeds adapt.
Really, you just know I'm here.
Use your
Suffered extensive damage, Commander.
Oh yeah. Same.
Let's go close the deal.
Thank you, dear.
Huh. Beach is empty. Not a creature
Administering
is...
systemic cleanse.
Someone on my team is getting quite the...
Target analyzed. Wait. Lay down fire.
What's that in the sand?
Don't become a statistic, Commander. I have a
I'm trying.
to stupefy.
I'm trying. Oh. It's really hard not to become a statistic, though. Ugh. Kitty?
Brought to you by Auntie's Choice Adrenatime. Work harder, not smarter.
Oh. Love stepping on the belly.
I'm on Paradise Island, on the Elysium moon of Eden.
So I'm gonna have to go through there. Might have to do some grinding on some side missions, though. Something. I'm not sure why I am dying so hard.
Episode's Leviathan crustacean, the Crabble.
Not like I'm under leveled for this area or anything like that. But it is getting really late. I think I might call it quits for right now. Mostly wanted to test and make sure everything was running correctly still. We had a big issue the other night. Oh, huge. I had to spend almost an entire day fixing everything. And we still, like, we were in the middle of, like, testing Restream for the second or third time when we had our big issue, so the day was a whole bunch of testing IRL and now testing the gaming stuff again.
Crabbles on Paradise Island
Yeah.
hate a good jolt.
But I'm going to head off to bed, and considering how we don't have much going on tomorrow, probably start streaming someone. No one. Definitely probably streaming.
Not a creature is stirring.
A good night.
Someone on my team is getting quite the vigorous dressing down. Wait, what's that in the sand?